You guys said let's check out more keyboards, so let's check out more keyboards, shall we? This is a keyboard by Dustsilver, and this is their retro theme that they just kind of released recently. We're gonna take a look at this. I don't know everything that's included in the package and the quality of everything, so we're reacting together here. And we'll give it a rating on how we think the actual build is, the quality, how everything goes together, and see what kind of materials are inside as well. This is like a newspaper article they came with, which is kind of cool. It's this little retro kind of canvas feeling material. Oops, with all these instructions. Look how neat that is. It's like aged paper. We'll take a look at that later. Whoa. So it's plastic case. It's decently heavy. Okay. Wait, what switches are in here? Huh, these feel lubed. And they got this really nice looking like retro themed bits, something like that. But overall, that's a very nice keyboard. Look at that. Love the style. The keycaps are definitely not cherry, but I'll have to look that up. They look pretty flat, but they're rounded. What else do you get in the box? All right, so instruction manual, some extra keycaps for, I'm guessing, for Mac. Control command, yep, for Mac controls, as well as a keycap holder, which is honestly pretty decent. Comfy in the hands. I like this one. It's probably the best keycap holder I've ever gotten in a kit. A adapter if you need to do USB-C to USB-A. Extra red switches. And a cable, which honestly seems pretty decent as well. So we are taking a look at the keyboard now. So the keyboard has a nice retro theme to it. It has this little casing here. Not sure what that's for. I think it's for the dongle, yeah. So it does have Bluetooth, 2.4 gigahertz connection, as well as wired. Oh, sweet. So if you look here, you have this cable management kind of wire tray that comes as well. So your cable can go right in the center here, and it travels outward. 2-stage feet, which you'd expect with a lot of plastic case keyboards, which is nice for adjustability. Biggest thing is this sliding mechanism. And I'm not sure what the point of this is. I think it's so that you can customize this and buy different like rails that can go with your different systems, like different themes. But I don't see why you do that when it came perfectly together. All right, so the switches in here, these are reds and they feel lubed. I'm gonna guess they're lubed because they are very smooth. I actually might have extra reds. Here's a non-lubed red. Yeah, that feels rough and scratchy, and these are lubed. You can't really hear it. Here, let's see if you can. That's lubed, unlubed. They're definitely lubed. I'm gonna say they're lubed. So they actually don't feel pretty bad. I was gonna say, I don't know why keyboards would come with red switches nowadays because there's so many nice and cool options out there, but if they come lubed, then it makes sense to do that. It's really nice. Feels decent in the hands. Doesn't feel gasket mounted, but we're gonna find out. I do like all these characters. Oh, that's the Konami code. Up, up, down, down, left, right, BA, BA. We're start though. Really cool. Really like the theme of this. Beautiful. But we do have to take this apart, so I'll just maybe I should make that part faster for you guys. I got everything taken apart, so now we're gonna get a screwdriver set, rip this board into pieces to see exactly what's underneath here. But as you can see, these are all cherry reds. Goes nicely with the set, but I'm not a fan of cherry reds, but we're gonna just stick with these for now because this is what you're gonna experience. I think there's a few other options. I'll list those maybe right here to see what options you can see when you're purchasing this. Let's see this apart. I know I can tell it's not gasket mounted though. This is definitely a standard plate mount. The only thing I need to know now is, do I need to take everything out switch-wise before, 1, 2, buckle my shoe. I'm a really big fan of these like sliding pieces, and the look overall is just gorgeous. Ugh, really pretty look. I think they nailed the theme they were going for on this. Ugh. And I would definitely like this in my setup, especially if I was going for a retro theme. Now, where does this disconnect? Does this come apart without having to do anything scary? I always do this for you guys. Keyboards like this, just for me, have to be able to take apart pretty easily because I need to see what's underneath. Oh, there we go. Hope we didn't break something. Oh my gosh, makes me so nervous. Oh, I don't want to do this. For science, for the viewers, open up. So it's one of those snap mount ones. There we go. There's half. The rest should be fairly simple. There we go. Didn't break anything. Did I break anything? Nope. We're good, folks, we're good. Inside, you have your connector to your battery, 3,750 milliamp battery, pretty good. And then if this comes apart, we'll see what kind of foam. All right, so at the bottom here, we actually have a foam. So that would be your typical tape mod, but this is foam, so it's gonna make a lighter impact kind of sound. And in between, you also have a foam up between the PCB and the plate, so that should help with your sound as well. And I think that's about it. And the plate is not metal. This is probably FR4 is the word I'm looking for, but whatever it is, I'll put it right here and I'll confirm it for you. So far, keyboard, decent things that's included in the box here. Sound profile they thought of. These are hot swap switches, you can see on the back. So you can put any switches you like in here, and it has all 3 connection types, so it should be pretty versatile for you as well. Okay, let's connect this back up finally. Again, this is plate mounted, this is not actually gasket mounted, so the typing experience is a lot more stiff. Definitely a standout thing. If you really like gasket boards, this is definitely not the board for you. Put all the keycaps back on, and then I will report back. So the coolest thing about this board, I would say, is this RGB strip. So it's on the back, and it's along the front of it, right here. This nice strip. I also did notice that these are north-facing switches. So if you don't know about switch orientation, you can tell here that the light comes from the top of the board. And what that basically means is that style of keycaps you can put on here has to be anything bigger than cherry. And the height of the switches, keycaps are very important based on your typing experience. These that it came with, I think, are ASA. I'll have to double check. I'll actually, once again, put it right here as to which ones they are. But they're definitely not cherry, because I have cherry on my other boards. But typically, if you have a north-facing switch, cherry profile keycap, you're gonna run into interference. And basically what happens is that the keycap is pressing against the switch. When you're typing, it's not, you know, hitting the actual keyboard itself. I have a whole video on it. I'll link it right here, but you shouldn't have any problem with this based on the keycaps that they have. Let me give it a few days. Let me play with this, game with this, see how the response time is, try the different connection types, and I'm gonna report back to let you know if this keyboard is worth buying so far. Not a good sign with the north-facing switches, not a good sign it being plate mounted and not, or case mounted. I've been saying plate mounted this whole time, haven't I? But you know, that can still be a decent keyboard. But it does have this retro theme that it really was trying to pull, and I think they did a great job with that. So it's mostly a themed keyboard. And a lot of people won't even care about these these nuances I'm speaking about, but if you do care about those things, now you're aware. If you think you're gonna leave a comment about my wrinkled shirt, the door's right over there. So I spent about a week with the Dustsilver keyboard now. And I gotta say, it's a nice keyboard. I really like it overall, and I love the theme they go for. All their keyboards have a nice theme to them, honestly. They're really high quality, and they lube the switches for you, which is really nice. For me, and I'm gonna say this a lot, preference, I don't like necessarily this keyboard as a daily driver. It looks pretty on the wall. It has a really pretty theme, but I like keyboards that have a different kind of quality to them because I'm typing on them literally 8+ hours a day. So the keycaps on these for me were just too rounded. They just felt too rounded. I kept slipping up. Didn't very much like the profile of the keyboard overall. The RGB is nice, but you can't actually customize the RGB along the side here. You see this? You can't customize this, and that kind of drove me a little bit crazy because you can make all this look pretty, add lots of reds and different colors, but you can't change this. I tried to look everywhere on their guides and everything, couldn't find anything like that. The complete package is there. The switches are lubed, the keycaps are decent, the keyboard is well quality, and the wireless connectivity, the Bluetooth, everything works just flawlessly. But for me, preference-wise, north-facing switches, the keycaps not being exactly how I like them, the profile of it, I didn't very much like it, kind of hurt my hands, didn't like that style. The package is still here if you want to take a look at it. The only downside for this keyboard, in my opinion, is plastic, because I prefer aluminum, and the north-facing switches. That's it. Everything else I've said negative about this has been my preference, not actually what's wrong with the keyboard. So I can recommend this to someone who doesn't really have much experience with keyboards and have a very particular style they like to type with. If you just like the theme, you like the way it sounds, and you're like, oh, this is cool, you'll probably have a good time. You'll probably be impressed by this because the switches are really nice. They did a really good job with them. I'm a big fan. But there's a few negatives that just, you know, bring it down a peg or two, but it doesn't mean that it's an awful keyboard by any means. So Dustsilver, not bad. I think there's a few improvements you can make. I'd love to see what you could do with an aluminum board. I'd love to see south-facing switches. So thanks for watching Lucky Strike Tech. You know what to do at the end of the video. Like, subscribe, and wait for that sound test.